But before that, we're going to be hearing about all the money being wasted by our government. There's a shocker, right? Senator Coburn?
Tom Coburn has been doing a book called The Waste Book, in which he talks about all the waste spent, all the waste of the federal government, from snow cones to squirrel studies. They even wanted to study in the science department. They wanted to study the sequestration react.
Really?
In the Department of Science, in the National Science Foundation. What a waste of... Just read the papers, okay? Stupid politicians.
I can't believe the Pentagon has a budget for beef jerky. What we're talking about, we don't have enough people to screen people at the airports.
Like
really?
There's not enough jerks in the Pentagon?
Yeah.
89 WLS. Traffic and weather info. Tune into 890 AM WLS for traffic and weather first on the fives when you need it most.
Lauren Cohn, John Cass here, 89 WLS, and we're joined now with Senator Tom Coburn of Oklahoma, one of the few men in Washington, Lauren, who actually watch how the money's spent and call these bureaucrats out on all the waste that how they're blowing our paychecks, basically.
Good morning, Senator. Thanks for being with us.
You're welcome. Glad to be with you. How's the weather in Chicago?
It's cold. My knees are freezing, but...
and we're dysfunctional here, just like Washington.
Oh, yeah, and we have a...
Yeah, but you're not dysfunctionally dysfunctional.
It's true.
We do have a local alderman trying to drive the Cubs out of town, so you can have them if you want them.
So you drive all sources of revenue out of the town, huh?
This is how we work in Chicago.
Yeah.
You don't understand how democratic states work. The government basically muscles business, and they call Indiana or Oklahoma, and they go there. And that's how it happens.
And the whole hope is the federal government will take over the obligations for the state of Illinois.
Yes, of course.
A bankrupt federal government will do that.
Of course. Isn't that how it works? This is Obama land.
Yeah.
We believe in miracles. One thing I guess that they could study is the study of presidential executive power and American attitudes towards the Senate filibuster.
Yeah.
Apparently, the federal government wanted to fund a study on how we feel about the sequester in one of the science bureaucracies.
On the NSF, yeah.
Right, and you stopped it.
Well, we stopped all of it unless it's critical to the nation's functioning. So we'll see how the head of the NSF defines that. But we're spending $11-12 million a year on what most people would consider non-priority research. You know, if we were in a balanced budget and we wanted to study something like that, and we could justify that it would actually make a difference in our country, maybe we should. But right now, you have a tough time justifying a lot of that. And it does employ professors at universities. I agree with that, but we can. I'm not sure political science is a science.
National Science Foundation studying politics, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for spending my money wisely, NSF.
Instead of studying the next generation chip for computers.
Senator, I was reading and sort of dumbfounded on this long list of wasteful spending. Things like the IRS spending $1 million on BlackBerries that go unused, and a budget for beef jerky in the Pentagon. What is all that about?
It's about lack of control and respect for every penny that the hard-earned Americans, their money is not put in a sense of priority. You know, the one thing I try to preach to my colleagues is the next dollar we spend ought to be the most important thing for the country, not the most important thing for your reelection. And I pretty well hit a blank wall and a stare when I say that. But, you know, we can't continue the way we are. We won't. Matter of fact, Bernanke said we won't. Nobody's going to loan us the money. And so the president's decision on sequester is to make it as painful for the American people as he can so that they won't want us to cut any spending.
What are some of these other examples of outrageous spending that most taxpayers don't know about?
You go through our waste book, you see, you know, we through the years we've spent $4 or $5 million studying the interaction between a squirrel and a rattlesnake.
And don't forget those snow cones.
Yeah, and you know we give $650 billion a year in grants. And most of the grants aren't followed up. A lot of them do a lot of good, but we have no control over it. There's no metrics. What are they supposed to do? Did you spend the money the way? What's the results? Did we get a good result out of the American taxpayer money that was invested in X grant or X research or X purchase? nobody ever asks the same questions we all ask in our family. Nobody here wants to prioritize where we spend the next dollar and whether we're getting value for Americans. What too often happens in both parties is how do I make myself look good at home, rather than doing the best thing for the long-term interests of the country.
But you're the senator who says no. So
I do say no.
So
I don't win that often, but I raise the point, and we have got to decide whether we're going to reward hard-earned success or continue to create dependency, learned helplessness. And I would tell you, with the president we have today, the goal is to create more learned helplessness.
He's gone out of his way to create chaos in order to terrify the American public about even small cuts, when large cuts are looming and necessary in the gigantic social entitlement programs that he has supported. Why isn't the American people getting that? Why don't they get that?
I don't know. When you think about it, the government's grown 89% in the last 10 years, and the median family income has declined 5%. What is it we don't get about the government? If the government could solve our problems, median family income would be up, not down. And there's an inverse relationship. The greater the government, the more money it takes, the less median family income you're going to have. And people don't get that, because over 50% of the households now get at least $2,500 a year from the federal government. One of
the things that's happening over the past couple weeks now, and I can see you at almost a fulcrum point here because you're focusing on waste. It seems like the Republican Party is undergoing a transformation, and that the libertarian side of the party, focusing on spending rather than social issues, is growing.
Yeah.
How do you see yourself in that mix with the sort of move toward libertarianism, or at least some economic arguments that can apply all across the board to many different sectors of the population?
Well, I guess I was there before anybody else was. Libertarianism is based on personal liberty, and the only way you get personal liberty and exercise it is if you have limited government. And we're now to the point that we've reached the max at which we can do as a government without unwinding like the Weimar Republic. And so, people get the fact that they're struggling and we're wasting money. And so that focus now turns as, why can't the government do what it's supposed to do without wasting all the money? And can you prioritize how we spend the money? So, I don't know if there's that big of a shift within the party. There's a shift within the American people when they're finally starting to see what I've been talking about for 8 years, the absolute stupidity of the way we throw money out the door with no accountability and no results.
Especially when you compare a situation like federal employees not paying taxes, yet we cancel tours at the White House for, children.
Or just look at federal employees. They're good people. They care about the country, but on average they make $59.84 an hour fully absorbed, which is twice what the private sector makes, and they work 3.8 weeks less per year. I mean, we have a tremendous imbalance, and it's not to say we shouldn't pay them adequately, but they have a dual retirement system. They have a pension plus a 401k. Nobody else has that unless it's your unionized firefighters and policemen in Chicago. No private business offers that anymore.
Senator.
So we there's lots of things we can change, and there's not a problem in front of us we can't solve, but we can't solve it with the people who are in Washington today.
Well, I hope you stay there, Senator, because we need you there and people like you on both sides of the aisle to watch the money, and they're not watching it. And I'd like to thank you very much for your time this morning.
Hey, good to be with you all. God
thank
bless
you, Senator.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Senator Tom Coburn, and we'll be back and taking your calls after this, 591-8900.
89 WLS. We're Chicago's talk leader because of you. So help us make the WLS News Department the best in Chicago. If you witness news, call the 89 WLS News Tip Hotline at 312-236-0507.
Just eat it like the government is eating your taxes. Thank you.
What is going on?
First, thanks Tom Coburn, Senator from Oklahoma. He gave us a list.
There's a 700-page report from the Government Accountability Office of this stuff. It's outrageous. Like, look at this, John. $375,000 grant used in part to study a robot sage grouse's interaction with a male sage grouse.
Yes, is the male sage grouse attracted? It's not his fault that he's attracted to the robot. So could he get another? Could we give another grant because you don't want to be?
Because don't give those 50,000 people to people who need to eat and feed their families and their kids who need to go to college or get a job.
A $227,000 grant used in part to examine depiction of animals in National Geographic from 1888 to 2008. You're studying a magazine that people read while they're indisposed, and you're using my money to do it?
$50,000 to attend an annual snowmobile competition in Michigan. Nothing against the folks in Michigan, but hello. Really, people?
There's no waste, but let's cut out. Let's pretend that we can't have money for White House tours,
right? Exactly.
For kids. Jim in Aurora. Jim.
Good morning, John, and good morning, Laura. You guys are awesome. And
good morning.
Again, I miss Jake, but when a family member, excuse me, has an addiction and it's tearing the family up, they do an intervention, and I see this government having a huge addiction, and if we don't pull an intervention, it's going to destroy the family. I mean, it's that simple. It's the best analogy I can come up with.
Well, when he starts talking about how when he starts scaring people, the president, what do? Laugh or I guess laughter would be a good medicine.
Intervene, because again, it's a family member saying, "Look, if you don't leave me alone, I'm just going to sell off your property, whatever."
I've had one of those. They want me to quit smoking again, so we just had a big intervention the other day at home.
How'd that go?
It's going this weekend. All right, let's see, Jim. Thank you, buddy. Marianne from Lamont. Marianne.
Hi, John. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Marianne.
Hi there. Yeah, we always get disgusted about all this information, and it's been coming down the pike for, decades. Okay, and the thing is, the way, and we say, why don't these people get it? Why don't they get it? Okay, why isn't like the Tea Party or conservative groups spending money to put advertisement on regular TV like ABC, NBC, because they don't watch cable, they don't watch the Fox channel, and
are you talking
they're low
about
information voters because they don't hear the truth. And why don't we do that? We've got to do something because our country, we're going to lose it. We're going to lose it. If the handwriting is on the wall, and he wants, Lynn Cheney's daughter, I can't remember what her name was, but she was on TV and she said she feels that Obama really wants our country to go downhill.
Well, I don't know about that. He is the president, but I think he's wrong-headed, Lauren.
Yeah.
John Cass, Lauren Cohn, traffic and weather first on the fives with Ryan Burrow.
89 WLS.
John Cass, I've got.
You just smell how good it smells in here with all this yummy vegan food.
All right, I've got a text from 708. I've never lost the fight to a vegan. It's for strippers and wimps. Sean, Elmwood Park. Will somebody send me a plate of carpaccio and a veal chop? You know who I'm talking about, you in Burr Ridge, okay, Gino? Will you please do it?
Listen, John, I'm so proud of you that you're going to try this morning because my good friend Karen Calabrese is here with all this yummy vegan food for you to try, and you're really going to enjoy it. I know you are. And you're going to want to come and sit with me at Karen's restaurant. Karen's on Green, and we're going to dine on this on like a weekly basis. I just have a feeling. I have a good feeling about this.
Really?
I do.
Betty's been trying to get me to go more vegetarian. Mm-hmm. We're in Lent now,
right?
So I guess I'm in a weak moment. You got me in a weak moment. I haven't eaten anything with a backbone or a face for 5 days. And we're going to be when we come back. We're going to be talking to Karen Calabrese about her new book. I kid you not. It's titled "Soak Your Nuts: Recipes for Everyday Life."
I'm so
excited. I can't believe I even read that. Okay, 591-8900. I'll put on the monkey suit, do my little symbols
so
like a trained monkey.
I'm like a proud parent right
and
now.
eat something that's supposed to looks like steak, and we'll see what happens.
I think you're going to like it.
Back after this, John Cass with Lauren Cohn, news with Ryan Burrow. It is 10 o'clock.
One station.